I know for myself that reflection is very important. And I know that, sometimes we can get in an argument or a healthy debate. I know for myself, I know I'm right. And as human beings, we want to win. We want to win. But when that argument happens, I could just feel it in my body, like that, just like, ugh, I'm so right, I know. And then you just feel it. And then that's when the insults start. And the digs and the daggers. And then you start being like the Matrix and Neo, and you got to be like Morpheus. You got to swerve all that stuff and not saying you're sorry. All that's ego. All that's ego. Not caring about how someone else feels, especially people close to you, because you want to win and you want to be right. And you don't care if they go to bed crying or whatever. I don't care. I'm right. Or you have to get the last word. That's disturbing. And we're living in times where that's okay, but that's not okay. Because people were all on the move, go, go, go. Center yourself, silence yourself, be still. Excuse me, it's very, very important to do that. Reflect. The ego is not perfect, and it thinks it is. The ego doesn't think it needs anyone. But, once you understand, you unpack the fact that we all need help. We all need someone. We all, we're human beings. We all need that affection, that intimacy. And it's hard to get that intimacy when you got that super ego. Who wants to be around someone with a super ego? I know I don't. So that's why you got to calm down. You got to reflect. Always, always, always analyze yourself, critique yourself, have critical thinking, all of that. I remember, I would say for myself a couple months ago, I felt myself being very argumentative and very a know-it-all. And that's not good. And I really took a step back. And I was like, I really, really need to reevaluate myself, because I am going to push very important people away from me and be that person that people don't want to come close to. And I don't want to be that person ever. I want people to know about me, and when they see me, I want people to feel good. I want people to, when they see me or hear my voice, hey, on the podcast, hey, or just talking to me, anything, think of me, anything. I want a smile to come to their face. I want people to feel good. And I want them to leave with that same impression, if not better. And not about ego, not about me, just about making people feel good. And I felt myself just being very opinionated. Let me say what's on my mind to you, even though you didn't ask me. That's going to be another topic in another video, God willing, inshallah. Like, that's not good, Like, I don't have to say something all the time. Like, we have to, as human beings, if someone didn't ask you, don't say it. You know what I mean? Unless it's like damaging. And I know I said it before, but unless it's super damaging, you don't have to say it. If it's something, you're preventing someone from something really bad, then of course say it. And if they don't like that you're telling them, then, oh, well, you're trying to help them. That's different. That's if in your bad situation. But I'm talking about just everyday things. You don't have to say something. Like I was saying with the review, you don't have to say that. You don't have to write, you know what I mean? Try to meet people halfway. Try to help. And if they're not into for your helping, okay. But you don't have to always, that opinionated, what do they say about opinions? They're like buttholes, everyone has one. Hey, it's true. You know what I mean? But instead of with opinions, why don't you come from a place of facts? And even if you're coming with a place of facts, who asked you? You don't have to say anything. No one's asking you anything. So just calm yourself down. It does not have to be about you, because you push people away. And it's not about the need to have people around you. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is to have a healthy relationships, and for you yourself to be healthy. The need to have to say something to someone when it's not warranted is not healthy, because you are not focusing on yourself, and you're putting your emphasis and energy on other people instead of putting it on you for you to grow. How can you nourish and flourish if you are focused on what other people are doing? And I have to say this, and I have to, no, because we live in a time of say what you want, say what you feel, do whatever you want, who cares? You only live once. Well, you know what? There's karma. And things today will not always be the same. One thing is for sure, things change. And unfortunately, and I said it before, most times when people say that, it's with a negative connotation, and it shouldn't be. Because from the way I see it, things, yes, 100% always change. and time waits for no one. We know that for sure. But change is necessary. You grow, but change can also be positive. Things always change for better or for worse. Most people say the change as something bad, but the changes that will come are going to always be better or worse. And what you do in this life determines the outcome of those changes. And that starts with the root of you, the super ego. And what we all can do, myself included, is to work on yourself constantly. And I feel that I've done a better job. With my younger sisters, I love being an older sister. I love being responsible. That's just how I am. I'm a homebody. I told you guys before, my parents, I was born at home. I love being home. I'm a homebody. I just love it. And, your home is your sanctuary. It's your castle, your home of peace. It should be. And if it's not for you, I hope that it will become that, because you deserve that. You deserve the best. Have the best, have some good values, surround yourself with the right people, and that will come your way. It's about what you put forward. Starts with your mindset, though. Remember, your thoughts, minds. We get light and dark thoughts, but then your mindset and what you put out into the world and into your internal world, what you manifest is what's going to be. So be very careful of what you do, and reflect, definitely reflect. But, so as far as having that home base and having that ego, just knowing who you are and do your best. Do your best, be your best. Don't forget what you're here to do in this life, and be kind. So as far as having that responsibility as an older sister and, being a mom, which I've always wanted to be a mom, and I always wanted to be married, and all those things, that the old school stuff, which I very, very old world, which I appreciate, now that I'm a mother, are very important. Sitting down at dinner and being with each other, talking about your day, not being on your devices, having conversations, listening before you're speaking, enjoying people's laughter, just their company. That helps get rid of the super ego. Not instead of, I know what's right and I know the best and me, I. That's not okay. It's not okay. And you want to really work on that so that you can become better, and that whole need to be right and to win, that's that ego. Just, you want to help eliminate that every single day. Try not to say the insults. Try not to. And if you do, say sorry. The super ego is also judgmental. Very judgmental, because I would never do that. You don't know what you would do, so don't talk like that. Hopefully you won't do that. And you look at that as a lesson, but don't say anything. Just observe. Try not to look down on that person, no matter how grotesque it is. Just observe and learn. Clearly, it was a reason why you saw it, so it's a lesson to tell you that that could be you. So that's why you want to be careful of that. The ego, the super ego, is not humble; it's arrogant. Be humble. You never know what's coming your way. You never know. As far as as a woman, we know how to cut anybody up with the words. And sometimes that could be our ego. We have to slow down. Just think about how other people feel. And I was talking to my niece earlier, and I'm like, try not to speak with facts, but you don't want to be a person that is just you don't want to be like a dog, a chihuahua, and sometimes I hate that perception of women, because that's not who we are. We're just, that's not who we are. We could check you better than nobody else. That's just how we are. But that whole nagging, I hate that narrative of that's who we are, because that's not who we are. Women, we're strong, we're powerful, we give life, okay? We give love, we about that thing. But that whole nagging thing, that's not cool. And to all the women out there, I just want you to know, love who you are, be beautiful, be strong, but everyone watch your words. Watch your words. If you're in a relationship, watch how that person feels. If you're in a relationship with someone and you just want to hurt them, then you really need to go back to the drawing board and realize what trauma you have and why in the world do you want to hurt the person you claim to love? That's not cool. And I'm sure that's past experiences. That's what you've seen. That happens. But you got to get to the root of that pain instead of carrying on the relationships and hurting people. Now you're giving them negative experiences, and maybe that person has the same thing. You don't want to do that. And even if someone comes at you with insults, you're like, look, Clearly, you think it's okay to say insults, but only a person that deep down feels inferior would try to make someone else feel inferior. See, that's the thing about the superego. It's actually fragile. The superego is fragile. It's not what people think it is. It's not the powerful. No, it's not. The superego is not confident, because confidence is like, yeah, I make mistakes. I'm wonderful, and so are you. The ego was like, no, I'm wonderful, I'm perfect, me, and forget about you. But why would it be forget about you? Because you feel intimidated, because you feel inferior. See, the superego is really fragile, constantly needing praise, constantly needing attention, always speaking about themselves, saying I all the time, me. It is fragile, definitely fragile. And you want to work on that. You want to look at that. And now going back to as far as me, women and how we are, and it's usually directed towards us when people say don't lead with emotion. And I thought about that. And for me, I would like to say, your emotion is your passion. Be passionate. You don't have to, if you're going to say what you had to say, you don't necessarily have to bring the tears. No, girl, no. Speak the facts, be firm, be direct. Instead of saying, from the way I see it, instead of saying, take the emotion out, no, what I'd say is take the ego out. Because sometimes when the tears are coming, that's just your ego. Why are you crying? You gotta be crying about this. State the facts. Don't raise your voice. A great quote I read. Do not raise your voice, improve your argument. So that's what it needs to be. Improve your argument. Be passionate. If you want to have some emotion, just remove the tears. Convert that emotion into passion. No emotion? No. They're like, take the emotion out of it. No, take your ego out of it. Because when you're putting all the dramatization in it, and the tears and this and that, that's your ego. Remove that. You want to be respected? Improve your argument. That's the way you do it. Because remember, the ego's fragile. Me, I. You want to take that out. Then you have the male ego. You know how men are, Men want to be respected, y'all. That's what it is. Men want the respect. Men, I get it. We all want to be respected and loved. But the difference between with men and women, we're not to say men don't want the love, but what I've noticed is that, and being married, you understand that, is that women, ours is we want the love, we want to feel loved. Men want to feel respected. And once you understand there's a big difference in that aspect with men and women, then you can mingle, you can mesh well together, beautiful love, Make love, that's the difference, and that's understanding that. But when you get people where they are, you get that. If you were looking at people for where you are, you're not going to understand them. You're not going to relate. The superego doesn't want to relate. It doesn't care. But you have to care. If you want to have healthy relationships, if you want the best in life, and you want to do this ride of life together with people that care about you, drop your ego all the time. And it's going to be with you to the end. But what you want to do, or until you pass on, until, for all of our lives, I should say, you want to, you got to let people in, and you got to be careful the way you speak. Think before you speak. And, the male ego, it's being challenged, You're like, dudes be like, yeah, he tried to come for me. And then you're like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Or why didn't you do this? Why did you say that to me? You're like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? It can be anything. The male ego, from what I've noticed, is they want to be respected. I get it. Women too, we want to be respected too, but that goes back to what I said with values. And video, episode number 10, we're having a value system. When you got a value system, you're going to be able to handle things correctly because you have something a code, a tradition, core values that you adhere to, so that you stick to that. You're like, oh, wait, I don't curse. So therefore, being that I don't curse, I'm not going to say that. That's a value. That's a value. Another value is making sure that you listen. Those are values. I listen, values. See, you need that. But when you don't have values, which are your discipline, then your superego grows easily, So you don't want that to happen. It's not about always winning. I'm right, you're wrong, you're stupid, I'm smart. That doesn't need to be that. I love just being able to, learn. Not thinking you know everything. No one knows everything. We don't. I've seen it, what it looks like when people are know-it-alls, and just so arrogant. But as much as I've seen that, I know that lives in me too. So I have to take a step back And before I oh, that person's a mess, I need to try to quiet my mind and say, I have that in me too. And this is a lesson for me to learn from, to try to hopefully not be that way, God willing. So here is how the ego develops. From what I've seen and what I've learned is that it's by not listening to others. Remember, just thinking you're talking, I know I'm right, so I don't have to listen to you. Not letting others talk. Why do you need to talk? I'm right. Thinking you know everything, the know-it-all, constant need to be right. Goes back to the same too. I know everything, so there's nothing you need to tell me. Someone tries to come to you and confide in you, you cut them off. Wait, what? What are you doing? Constant need of praise and attentions, all about me. I'm wonderful, look at what I'm doing. Arrogant. Oof, you know that. Arrogance is very crazy, scary. Entitlement, feeling that you're owed something. I'm owed that, that's mine. And you're like, what are you talking about? Being ungrateful, nothing's ever good enough for you. Very ungrateful, appreciate the beauty, the blessings you have. Always complaining, like I said about the reviews. I get things happen, but come on now, we gotta be careful. Always complaining, something's always wrong. Did I tell you, what happened to me today and this and that? You're like, so you had nothing good happen today? Like, really? That's your world? Like, I don't wanna hear negativity. I don't. And when I feel it in myself, and I was talking about the arguments and things, I could just feel it coming up, and I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that way. I want my children to see their mother as a happy, positive, strong woman, highly educated, very intelligent, and someone that understands that the biggest war is the war with myself and the person I choose to be every day. So if I'm leading with negativity, that's what they'll be. And then they say misery loves company. It does, but then sometimes you don't even want to be around that. Not realizing that you've become that. So that's why we have to do a self-audit on ourselves all the time. Not apologizing. I don't need to apologize. I'm right. Even if you are right, still say sorry. And don't say sorry like, well, if you're saying if you feel, that's not a real apology. If you feel I hurt you, then why did you even say anything? If clearly you're not prepared to apologize. So when you calm down from your fragile super ego, then we could talk. Ooh, words of power. Obsessed with being in control. You don't know how to let go. I have to do this because you're not trusting in others. No one's going to do as good as I do. Like, teach people, delegate. Don't think that you're going to work yourself crazy trying to do everything, spreading yourself too thin. Relax. You're better than others. No one's better than me. No, yourself is the competition, not the other people. You don't accept feedback. Don't tell me anything. I already know. I'm perfect. So don't even come at me. Tell me anything. Crazy. You don't let anyone in. Always saying I, me. Whenever they tell a story, it's about how their day went and everything. No, when someone comes to you, ask them how their day went first. How'd your day go? And words are so powerful in the way you say it. Instead of saying, what went wrong today? How was your day? Because there should be some positive. And even if it wasn't so good, bring it back to the beginning. You woke up, so you got some good. Make the solution, bring the positivity. Must have the last say, in an argument. I have to be the last one to drop the mic. I got to finish it. I got to knock this person out. What? Again, is this someone that you love? Then why do you have to be the last one to say something? And why do you have to throw daggers? Why are you taking digs? I thought you loved that person. Got to check into that trauma. What's going on? Not being mindful, not centering yourself, not being aware, not having that self-awareness, not having that reflection. Very, very scary thing not to have. No manners. Straight up rude. I don't have to say please and thank you. I don't have to say I'm sorry. I don't have to do those things. That's for stupid people. No, you're stupid if that's what you believe. But they don't put themselves in other people's shoes. They're not relatable. They don't think it could ever be them. And that's not okay. That's very arrogant, very entitled. You don't know where you're going to be. You have no control of you being born. And yet you are not going to relate to other people. And you're not going to meet people where they're at. When you meet people where they are, you make such strong, beautiful connections with people. Doors will open for you. I'm talking about the doors of heaven will open for you if you meet people where they at and be understanding and being kind and being patient and listen. I'm telling you, not doing those things. You're setting yourself up for failure. It's 100%. Not holding yourself accountable. It's like, what do I have to hold myself accountable for? I'm perfect. I don't need to reflect on anything. I know I keep talking about reflection because that's what the root of it is understanding, looking at the beginning of where you are, you know? And let's talk about ways how to get rid of the ego. Now my daughter's in here. Hi, baby. Ways to get rid of the ego is always remember you're a student. Always remember you have a beginning. Always remember that there's something to learn. Always remember that. There's a beginning for everything. Always remember there's a learning, there's a beginning, there's a start. I'm so sorry in my house, the doors are slamming, y'all. This is very real. We're living real life. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. My sister, doors is open and closing, but this is real life. So I want you guys to remember that. I apologize for anything that happens, but I'm focused on y'all, but you know, life is always happening, so. And we make the best of it. So yes, as a student, you're always a student, you know, because when you're a student, you're opening your heart and you are remembering that you want to learn, okay? You're listening before you speak. Remember, 2 ears, 1 mouth. You letting others talk first. You don't have to be the first one to talk. Like, be quiet, just relax. Let that person say what they have to say, and you could patiently wait and calmly say what you have to say. Apologize. You know how you get rid of the egos, you apologize. You have no problem apologizing. Even if you're right, just apologize. You let go of control. You trust people. You let them know you believe in them. You're humble. You know, you're very humble. You're grateful. You're grateful for what you have. You don't need constant praise. Why do I need praise? I don't need it. You know, hopefully I'm doing my best. But if you know, it's nice to get the attention. I'm not going to say that, but you don't need praise. Constant need of praise is not good. You know, says we versus I. You know, you're learning to change your terminology and your thinking. We did this. We, not I. Look what I. Like, come on. Look at everything in a team way, you know, to bring people in. You choose love, You choose love, not war. And don't think you're choosing love. Always choose love. Choose love always. Always choose love. Make sure that you're there for love and you're choosing it. And that's what you want to win. Love always wins, but you choose love. You're like, you know what? If I do this, things will get better. And I want to make things better. And you're choosing love. Not to say we're something where, you know, again, things you're going to have to speak up and it might not be the best situation and might be hard to say sometimes. Some things are necessary to say, especially as far as accountability. But that's also choosing love too, because you know it's tough love. And you know it's the right thing to do. You're grateful. You're grateful for everything. You're grateful. You're looking at the world, you know, in a positive light, and you're looking at the glass half full, not half empty. You're like, oh man, I had a terrible day. You're like, yeah, okay, but I'm sure someone else is having a worse day. I'm sure a lot of people have a worse day, but you won't hear about that because your day's worse. Humble yourself, center yourself, get over yourself. It's not about you, get over yourself. Puts themselves in other people's shoes, is relatable, is kind, has very good manners. You know, very, very good manners. You say please and thank you. You respect your elders. You respect children. You respect life. You have respect. You show people respect. You show love. You reflect constantly, daily, constantly. You have that reflection. Whether it be through meditation, whatever it is, you have that reflection. You hold yourself accountable. You know, I messed up. I dropped the ball. I apologize. There it is. You know, super ego doesn't want to do that. Remember, it's fragile, but it thinks it's perfect, so I don't need to do that. That's not what helping get rid of your ego does. And you give back. You're in service to others. You're constantly giving back. You want to help. You want to make the world a better place. And you look at yourself with not how you think you are. And you want feedback. You ask for feedback. How am I doing? Is there anything I need to work on? Things like that and such. So ask yourself, do I have an ego? A big ego? Well, we all have ego, but do you have a super ego? Can others connect with me? You know, really can they build that bridge? Do people feel close to you? Do they want to come to you? Do I always have to be right? Do you have to win an argument? Is it all about you? Is it important to you to always be right as far as a debate or anything? Do you have to be the one to one-up someone all the time? Are you grateful? You know, are you a grateful person? And is it always about you? Is it always about you? Does it always have to be about you, not other people? You know, you have to ask yourself those things. And any other thing that you need to think about, really, really think about how you are as a person and what we all need to work on. You know, unfortunately, the ego doesn't ever leave us. The ego is always with us. And again, in Arabic, nafs, your nafs don't leave you. But having a set of principles, standards, code, tradition to live by, like we in the video 10, which is about values. If you have those things, that discipline, that will help you override your ego. And I'm a very big Marvel fan, DC fan and Marvel fan. And I love the movie Doctor Strange, my family and I. And Doctor Strange, his teacher, well, first of all, he had a super ego because remember, he thought he was better than everyone. And remember when, if you did not see that movie, please check it out. Doctor Strange, Marvel, it's amazing. He, remember how he treated his teacher. He didn't even think that was his teacher. And how he was treating her. He didn't realize, he thought she was just the one serving tea. He didn't even realize that she is that one. She's amazing. But he looked down at her because his super ego. And remember what she told him. She actually told one of her other students, not him, but she did tell him. She said, we don't ever get rid of our ego. We have to learn to live above them. There you go. That's the key, y'all. You don't get rid of it. You know it's there, but you have to learn, fight hard to do what's right, to be positive, be your best. That's what you do. You know? So I just want you all just to just always reflect, be good, be kind, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I really do hope you enjoyed video number 11. Woo! Hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was great. And I hope I'm giving you all that you need and more. And just do your best, be your best, all right? And this is such a good time, great video, being with such great friends out in the world and great people, and I want the best for all of you so much. And just want you to always remember to please always be good to each other. All we have is now, so make it count. Go for your dreams, be your best, whatever it is you want, go for it, and enjoy the ride. All right, check you next time. Thanks for listening. Episode 12.